Peter, good morning.
Good morning.
I am with Peter Burns III. He has been a lifelong entrepreneur, is an entrepreneur leader, helps people start companies and create them. So Peter, I'm going to jump in from a question standpoint. Tell us a little bit about the things you have going on right now.
Certainly. So as an entrepreneur, a lifetime entrepreneur, I started my first official company at the age of 19. I have been counterintuitive, and it served me very well, especially in these chaotic times. I had an interesting phone conversation with my sister recently, and I am the black sheep of the Burns family. My younger brother, Michael, runs Lionsgate Entertainment. My brother, Kevin, also younger, runs a $5 billion personal hedge fund, and my sister's married to an investment banker. So since I left home at 17 to join the infantry at the end of Vietnam, and then won a ROTC scholarship after I won an appointment to West Point at UVA and started my company as a freshman in college, I've gone a different path. And so she called me up to say, you have the last laugh, Peter, because you operate in chaos like it's another day in the park, and we're all frozen like deer in the headlight. Because Michael, of course, runs the largest film company in the world. There are no theaters. So what does that do? Kevin lost $2 billion in 2 weeks. And it's like, okay, how was your day? Well, I said, I live in Del Mar. I'm really happy. And I'm doing what I love to do. I combined my love of entrepreneurship and startups, and I picked the millennials, specifically young female millennials who I am starting businesses with right now. So again, it seems a little odd and counterintuitive to start businesses in the middle of the worst economic disaster ever. And I see this as sort of like, I'm the only one that sees the Easter eggs on the ground, and I keep picking them up and putting them in my basket. And you know what? I think I'm going to have the last laugh, like my sister said.
That's fantastic. As you've looked at the year 2020, right, and you've seen a lot of the ups and downs of business and through these things, what are a couple of your thoughts on how this year differentiated against any other quote unquote crisis that we've had as a country or world?
Well, since I've been doing this for 45 years and counting, I'm 64 years old, and I've seen a lot of devastations back from 87 to 2008. There were bumps all along the way, and I've disregarded most of them because as an entrepreneur, I can bob and weave with the best of them. And since I am not static and not tied up, and I don't have anyone to account for except myself, I'll just do what it takes to change on a dime. And I think that people have to understand that this is such a devastating, nearly extinction event. It's never going back to what it was. So get rid of your preconceptions that this is going to return and they're going to magically solve COVID. No, they're not. And there's going to be something behind it. We have to get used to bobbing and weaving. All of us have to do that. And we have to actually create a new normal because it's never going back to what it was before. So figure out your skill sets, start some new ones, have a side hack, figure out different pools of income, even if they're small. By themselves, they add up to replace your income or exceed your income. Be your own boss because there's no going back to the job market that it was before.
Fantastic advice. As you're leading and mentoring entrepreneurs in different companies, how are you helping them prepare for 2021? What are you doing? I mean, this has got to be the kind of the weirdest. I mean, the planning that we all did in Q4 of 2019 all got thrown out the window come March, right, of this year. How has planning been different this time around?
Well, there was an old saying I used to adhere to, and it was, how do you make God laugh? Make plans. And that's true in so many different ways, especially now. So you have to have backups to backups to backups, and that just has to be your course. You can't get, like my sister was saying, frozen like a deer in the headlights. you just can't do it because you can't move. You become paralyzed, and that's obviously counterproductive. So what you need to do is you need to look and take baby steps to financial solvency and to business ownership, startup, all the above, and multitask. Have a few things on the scope of your future. I don't know what people in jobs whose industries have evaporated are going to do, to tell you the truth. My recommendation is to find a side hack and start a business. That's all I can say. And then work that business until it's profitable. Take advantage of some of the mentors, such as myself. Take advantage, if you haven't crushed your credit, of unsecured financing. You have the SBA that has taken something like 20 million unsecured small business loans just in the last few months. Now, that's kind of tied up in the politics of the stimulus package right now, but that'll be released. That will come whether it's a Republican in the office or a Democrat. It's going to come. Take advantage of that. Find a business that you can get into. Find someone to help you get into that business, and parlay those resources that you can get into something that becomes your own cash flow. Otherwise, you're totally screwed.
Finally, I know our time is limited here, but I want to. Is there a favorite or a project you're working on right now that you're really excited about?
Well, before COVID hit, I had entered into the elder care housing business in a specialty market, where I converted single-family homes into 10-bedroom, 10-bath to accommodate elders who just simply couldn't take care of themselves in their own homes anymore, yet they were still functional and they didn't require a higher level of care than the level 1 that I'm in. And I positioned these homes inside a very large retirement community, so I could kind of do the aging at home scenario, where they lived in their retirement community, couldn't quite take care of themselves any longer, and could move into the same neighborhood with the same familiarities, with the same amenities and everything else. So it gave them a level of comfort. So I built this into a Del Webb community, which is owned by Pulte Homes. There's 40,000 homes in there. They're perfect. I built 3 homes, soup to nuts, millions invested, and then COVID hit. So rather than kill my clients, I'm waiting it out. The good part is the real estate's appreciated $700,000 while I'm waiting for COVID to be arrested. That is a unicorn for me, because the aging population in America is approximately 11,000 people turn 65 every single day, and they don't have anywhere to go. So I've created a kind of a hybrid format. You're not in assisted living, big towers where you're just a number. You're not going to nursing homes to die. You're going to have a dignity of life in a very luxurious home with a private chef and a nurse practitioner or an LPN who takes care of your needs, and your family can know you're going to be safe. Every one of our homes are as COVID proof as you're going to possibly get. We spent a lot of resources to make these homes very luxurious. I see this as my biggest play so far.
Peter, that's awesome. One final thought, if you want to leave with anybody, a book that you've read recently, or something that you think as we go into the holidays. I know a lot of people look to things, and so how do I prepare for 2021 or different things? Anything like that you want to leave the audience with?
Yeah, I'm rereading, I should say, Freakonomics and Tipping Point. Very appropriate right now.
Awesome. Peter, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate you spending some of it with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for the opportunity to share the word.